Welcome to Books Arena. Money is one of the most important tools in life, yet so many of us struggle to manage it. The Richest Man in Babylon, by George S. Clason, does not promise instant wealth or get-rich-quick schemes. Instead, it teaches timeless principles about saving, investing, and building prosperity, framed through stories set in the ancient city of Babylon, a city famous for its wealth and wisdom. Through simple parables, we learn how ordinary people in Babylon achieved extraordinary financial success. The lessons revolve around common sense practices, living within your means, making your money work for you, seeking wise counsel, and taking action consistently. These are principles as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. By understanding and applying these timeless truths, you can take control of your financial future. You will see how small, disciplined actions can lead to lasting wealth, and how the mindset of a prosperous person begins with personal responsibility and wise choices. Today, we will explore these lessons, story by story, and uncover how the wisdom of ancient Babylon can transform your approach to money, work, and life itself. Part 1. Start thy purse to fattening. In the ancient city of Babylon, there lived a man named Arcad, who would become known as the richest man in all the city. What set him apart was not luck, inheritance, or extraordinary skill, but a principle so simple, yet so powerful, that it remains true even today. He started by saving a portion of everything he earned. Arcad often told the people of Babylon that no matter how much one earns, if nothing is saved, wealth will never come. He preached the idea of paying yourself first. For every coin earned, a small portion should be set aside before any spending occurs, even before buying food or paying debts. By doing this, the seeds of wealth are planted early, and over time, they grow. At first, the citizens were skeptical. How could someone set aside money when expenses seemed endless? But Arcad insisted that saving is not about having extra after spending, it is about creating discipline and a foundation. He would say, a part of all you earn is yours to keep. Even if it is just a tenth, it is the start. The principle is simple: if you do not save, you cannot accumulate. But saving alone is not enough. Arcad also taught that saved money must be put to work. Let your coins multiply, whether through trade, investment, or lending to those who can use them wisely. Idle money does not grow. Money, like fertile soil, must be nurtured. Arcad illustrated his teaching through a story of a young man who came to him lamenting that despite working hard, he had nothing to show for it. Arcad asked him a question: do you spend all you earn, or do you save a portion first? The young man admitted he spent everything. Arcad explained that wealth is created not by what you earn, but by what you save and invest wisely. The beauty of this lesson is its universality. Consider modern examples: a young professional who saves 10% of every paycheck, or a small business owner who reinvests profits rather than spending on luxuries will, over time, build financial security. The principle does not rely on luck or special talent. It relies on discipline. Arcad also highlighted a subtle but important point: saving must be done consistently. One coin saved today and another tomorrow, steadily, compounds into substantial wealth over time. The power of small, repeated actions cannot be overstated. It is the rhythm of saving that transforms ordinary earnings into extraordinary fortune. This principle goes beyond money. It is about building a habit of foresight and responsibility. By dedicating a portion of income to the future, individuals develop patience, planning, and the ability to delay gratification, qualities that serve every aspect of life. Finally, Arcad emphasized mindset. Many think wealth is for the lucky, or for those born into it. He argued otherwise: wealth is a result of action, not chance. By taking control of even a small portion of earnings and applying it wisely, anyone can build prosperity. Start your purse to fattening. Begin today, however modestly. Save a portion of your earnings, put it to work, and let it grow. The richest man in Babylon did not become wealthy by accident. He started by taking small, deliberate steps that anyone could take, and over time, those steps became the foundation of his enduring fortune. Part 2. Control thy expenditures. After Arcad taught the importance of saving, the next lesson in wealth was equally critical: controlling one's expenditures. In Babylon, as in life today, people often earn enough but still find themselves struggling because they spend without thought, letting desires dictate their actions. Arcad explained that wealth is not just about how much you earn, but how wisely you manage it. He often reminded the citizens that desires are endless. Clothes, feasts, jewelry, houses, and pleasures all pull at one's purse. Without restraint, these desires consume all earnings, leaving nothing for saving or investing. The wealthy do not live without pleasures, but they ensure that their spending does not exceed a planned limit. Arcad illustrated this through the story of Bansur, the chariot builder, and Kabai, the musician, both of whom struggled despite working hard every day. They lamented that money seemed to vanish as quickly as it came. Arcad asked them to list their expenses and compare them to their earnings. They were surprised to discover that most of their coins were spent on wants rather than necessities or savings. This clarity was the first step toward financial freedom. The principle here is simple: make a budget for your necessities, your future, and then decide how much you can spend on other desires. Do not allow your wants to dictate your life. If you earn 10 coins, do not plan to spend all 10. Decide what portion is necessary, what portion you save, and what portion is for enjoyment, and stick to it. This lesson is timeless. Modern examples abound. Families who live paycheck to paycheck often struggle not because they earn too little, but because they fail to prioritize needs over wants. By creating boundaries for spending and distinguishing between essentials and luxuries, anyone can free up money for saving and investing. Arcad emphasized that controlling expenditures is not about living miserably. It is about being intentional. One can enjoy life's pleasures, but without a plan, those pleasures can become a trap. The key is discipline, spending consciously, rather than being led by impulse or desire. He also stressed the importance of distinguishing between necessary expenses and desires that seem urgent but are not essential. A fancy feast, expensive clothing, or luxury items may bring temporary pleasure, but they do not build wealth. Instead, redirect a portion of those coins into savings or investments. Over time, this careful management multiplies far beyond what impulsive spending could ever achieve. Bansur and Kabai learned that controlling their expenditures allowed them to free a portion of their earnings for investment. This small change shifted their path from mere survival to gradual accumulation of wealth. They realized that money left unguarded slips away as quickly as water through fingers, but money managed wisely grows steadily and reliably. Ultimately, this lesson goes beyond finance. It teaches self-control, foresight, and discipline, qualities that shape every aspect of a person's life. Controlling expenditures is not just about coins, it is about mastery over choices, habits, and priorities. Arcad's wisdom was clear: save first, then spend wisely. Distinguish between needs and wants. Plan your spending. Avoid the trap of lifestyle inflation, where desires expand to consume every coin earned. By mastering these practices, the citizens of Babylon were able to accumulate wealth steadily, turning ordinary earnings into extraordinary security and freedom. Part 3, Make Thy Gold Multiply. Once Arcad had taught the people of Babylon to save a portion of their earnings and control their spending, he introduced the next crucial principle: make your gold work for you. Saving alone is not enough, money must be put to work, generating more money, or it will remain stagnant. Arcad told the story of a man named Algamish, a wise money lender, who guided his clients to invest their coins wisely. One young man had saved 10 coins but was unsure how to make them grow. Algamish explained that money is like a fertile seed. If buried and left untouched, it produces nothing. But if nurtured and invested in ventures that are prudent and reliable, it can multiply over time, yielding returns far beyond the original sum. The principle is straightforward: every coin you save should be employed to earn more. It could be through lending to trustworthy individuals, investing in trade, or participating in ventures where risk is calculated and wisdom guides decisions. The key is action, letting money do the work instead of hoarding it passively. Arcad warned against impulsive or reckless investment. He recounted the story of a man who gambled his savings on speculative ventures without knowledge or counsel, only to lose everything. This caution underscores that multiplying wealth requires intelligence, patience, and guidance. Seek counsel from those experienced and reliable, and avoid schemes that promise quick riches with high risk. In practical terms, making your gold multiply is about thinking long-term. Consider the power of compounding. A coin invested wisely today can grow steadily over months and years. The habit of consistently investing small amounts builds wealth far more effectively than sporadic, high-risk ventures. This principle also teaches the importance of opportunity. Just as fertile land produces crops when sown, your savings can only grow when placed where it has the chance to work. Idle money in a drawer, no matter how large, contributes nothing to your prosperity. Money must move, guided by prudence, To create abundance. Arcad often reminded the citizens of Babylon that multiplying wealth requires courage alongside wisdom. It takes bravery to step beyond simply saving and begin investing, trusting that thoughtful decisions and patience will yield results. Those who hesitated too long risked stagnation, allowing their coins to lie dormant while others grew rich. This lesson resonates today. Individuals who invest a portion of their income, whether in businesses, stocks, or other ventures, consistently build wealth over time. Those who fail to act, letting fear or indecision dominate, often find themselves trapped in a cycle of earning and spending without growth. The story of Babylon teaches that financial growth is intentional. It is not accidental. Every coin saved and invested wisely is a seed planted for future security and prosperity. Over time, even modest amounts, managed intelligently, create financial independence and the ability to seize new opportunities. In essence, making your gold multiply is about transforming passive savings into active wealth creation. It is about foresight, wisdom, and the courage to act. When combined with the earlier principles of saving and controlling expenditures, this step completes the foundation for lasting financial success, turning disciplined habits into a life of abundance. Part 4. Guard thy treasures from loss. As Arcad continued to teach the citizens of Babylon, he emphasized a principle that is as important as saving and multiplying wealth: protecting what you already have. It is not enough to earn and invest, one must also guard their treasures against loss, carelessness, and unwise ventures. Arcad told the story of Rotten, a successful merchant who had accumulated a modest fortune. Excited by his earnings, Rotten sought to invest in a risky trade with strangers he barely knew, tempted by promises of extraordinary returns. The venture failed, and he lost much of his hard-earned wealth. The lesson was clear: wealth can vanish quickly when placed in untrusted hands or speculative schemes without due diligence. In Babylon, the wise followed a simple rule: never invest in anything you do not understand, and never entrust your money to those whose judgment you cannot rely upon. Even the most promising opportunity carries risk when guided by ignorance or carelessness. Prudence, research, and seeking counsel from those experienced in financial matters are essential. Arcad explained that guarding wealth requires both caution and wisdom. It is about balancing ambition with judgment. The desire to grow wealth is natural and beneficial, but it must not blind one to the risks. Think of a farmer planting seeds: you choose fertile soil, water carefully, and protect the crop from pests. Similarly, your money must be nurtured in environments where growth is possible and loss is minimized. This principle extends beyond mere finances. Protecting your treasures also means safeguarding your reputation, your skills, and your relationships, the assets that underpin your ability to earn and invest. Wealth can be rebuilt, but trust, credibility, and opportunity, once lost, are much harder to recover. Arcad also emphasized that guarding your treasures does not mean avoiding risk entirely. Risk is inevitable in any endeavor. But risk without preparation, without understanding, and without caution is not calculated, it is recklessness. The wise take informed risks, ensuring that each venture has a reasonable chance of success, and that losses, if they occur, will not destroy the foundation of their financial security. A practical lesson for modern life is clear: do not chase get-rich-quick schemes or speculative investments without proper knowledge. Vet your advisors and verify their credibility. Diversify your investments to protect against unexpected setbacks. Always consider what could go wrong and prepare for it. The wealth you have worked hard to earn deserves protection just as much as it deserves growth. Arcad's teaching here was simple: wealth is a treasure, but it is also fragile. Protect it as you would a precious gem. Avoid foolish ventures, seek advice from those who are experienced, and ensure that your savings and investments remain secure. By doing so, you create a foundation that can withstand the tests of time, market fluctuations, and human error. Ultimately, guarding your treasures allows you to preserve the fruits of your labor, ensuring that your efforts in saving and investing continue to benefit you and your family. Wealth unprotected is like a river left unchecked; it can slip away in an instant. Wisdom ensures it flows steadily, building prosperity over a lifetime. Part 5. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Arcad's lessons on wealth extended beyond coins and investments to the very roof over one's head. In Babylon, many people rented or lived in poorly constructed homes, spending money on temporary shelter while missing the opportunity to turn their dwellings into sources of security and long-term value. Arcad explained that a home is not just a place to sleep, it can also be a foundation for financial stability. He told the story of a young man, Sharunata, who lived in a rented room. Every month he paid a significant portion of his earnings to his landlord, leaving little for savings or investment. Arcad asked him to consider what he would have if he redirected that rent toward owning his own home. By saving diligently, borrowing wisely, and investing in property, Sharunata could not only secure a roof over his head but also build an asset that could grow in value over time. The lesson here is that controlling your shelter expenses and investing in property can transform your financial life. Rent is a necessary expense for many, but ownership allows you to build equity rather than spending indefinitely on something that gives no long-term return. Arcad advised that one should strive to make a dwelling a profitable investment, ensuring that the money spent today contributes to wealth tomorrow. Arcad also emphasized prudence in choosing a dwelling. The home should be safe, functional, and affordable relative to one's earnings. Overspending on lavish homes or living beyond one's means can quickly drain wealth and undermine the habits of saving and investing. Balance is key. Spend wisely, live comfortably, but always plan for growth and security. This principle applies even in modern terms. Many financial advisors suggest that housing costs should not exceed a manageable portion of income. Paying more than you can afford, or purchasing property without careful planning, can leave a person financially stretched and vulnerable. Conversely, investing in property wisely, or in ways that generate income or appreciate over time, can provide stability and wealth accumulation. Arcad's wisdom also extended to the idea that owning a home creates a sense of responsibility and discipline. When you invest in something tangible and lasting, you are more likely to plan for the future, save regularly, and avoid frivolous spending. The home becomes more than shelter, it becomes a stepping stone toward financial independence. In addition, a well-chosen dwelling can create opportunities for additional income, such as renting out extra rooms or leveraging property value for business ventures. Wealth building is not just about accumulation but also about creating systems where assets work for you. The citizens of Babylon learned that by making thoughtful choices about their homes, they could reduce living expenses, protect their savings, and turn one of life's largest costs into an instrument of growth. Sharunata, through careful planning, eventually transitioned from renter to homeowner, experiencing the security and satisfaction that comes from making one's dwelling a profitable investment. Ultimately, Arcad's lesson was simple: do not let your largest expenses work against you. Transform them into opportunities for growth. Make choices that provide comfort, security, and future value, so that every coin spent contributes not only to your present needs but also to your long-term prosperity. Part 6. Ensure a future income. Arcad understood that wealth is not just about what you earn today but about securing resources for tomorrow. In Babylon, many people lived hand-to-mouth, focused entirely on immediate needs, with little thought for old age or unforeseen hardships. Arcad taught that financial security requires planning for the future and creating a steady income that endures beyond your working years. He shared the story of a man named Dabasir, a camel trader who once lived in debt and worry. Despite his hard work, he had no savings and no plan for the future. One day, he realized that he could not continue like this. His earnings were temporary, his obligations many, and his future uncertain. With Arcad's guidance, he learned to allocate a portion of his income toward long-term security, ensuring that even when work became difficult or impossible, he would have resources to rely upon. The principle is clear: always save and invest with the future in mind. This means planning for old age, unexpected emergencies, and potential opportunities that require capital. By ensuring a future income, you protect yourself and your family from dependency and uncertainty. Arcad emphasized that creating future income is not limited to traditional savings. Investments, business ventures, rental property, and other reliable sources of income can all contribute. The key is consistency and prudence, allocating resources regularly to vehicles that are likely to provide returns over time. This transforms ordinary earnings into a financial foundation that continues to grow and support you long after immediate work ceases. Modern examples echo this timeless wisdom. Retirement plans, pensions, stock investments, and insurance are contemporary tools that allow people to ensure income in the future. Those who neglect this step often find themselves struggling in later years, despite having earned well throughout life. The habit of thinking ahead is what separates temporary comfort from lasting prosperity. Arcad also stressed the importance of discipline and foresight. Creating a future income requires regular contributions, patience, and resisting the temptation to spend all available funds today. He argued that those who fail to prepare for tomorrow are vulnerable to misfortune, whether it comes as illness, economic downturn, or other life challenges. The story of Dabasir illustrates how thoughtful planning can transform a life. By dedicating even a small portion of his earnings to secure future income, he eventually achieved independence and confidence. He could take risks, pursue opportunities, and live with peace of mind, knowing that he had prepared for the inevitable uncertainties of life. Ultimately, Arkad's lesson teaches that wealth is not merely for present enjoyment but is a tool to ensure stability and security over a lifetime. By making decisions today that provide for tomorrow, you create a continuous cycle of growth and protection. Income earned now can generate resources that sustain you, your family, and your ventures far into the future. In short, ensuring a future income is a cornerstone of financial wisdom. It transforms wealth from a fleeting resource into a lasting asset, providing confidence, security, and the freedom to act wisely in all aspects of life. Those who heed this principle lay the foundation for prosperity that endures, no matter the circumstances. Part 7. Improve thy ability to earn. Arkad's final lesson to the people of Babylon was about the most powerful asset anyone possesses, their own ability to earn. He emphasized that wealth is not simply a matter of luck, inheritance, or even frugality alone. True prosperity comes to those who continually increase their skill, knowledge, and capacity to generate income. He told the story of a young man named Madan, who was skilled in trade but stagnant in his earning potential. Madan had mastered basic commerce but refused to learn new techniques, explore new markets, or adapt to changing conditions. As a result, while others around him flourished, he remained trapped in mediocrity. Arkad explained that the richest men in Babylon did not rely solely on saving or controlling expenditures, they invested in themselves. The principle is timeless: your knowledge, skills, and expertise are the engines of your financial growth. By studying, learning from mentors, and embracing new experiences, you increase the value you bring to your work, business, or profession. Higher value naturally leads to higher income. Wealth follows ability. Arkad also highlighted the importance of seeking wisdom. It is not enough to work harder, one must work smarter. Learning from those who have succeeded, understanding markets, and continually honing your craft allows you to seize opportunities that others cannot. In Babylon, the merchants who became wealthy were those who recognized that constant improvement was not optional, it was essential. Consider modern parallels. Professionals who upgrade their skills through training or education often find greater financial rewards. Entrepreneurs who study trends and refine their strategies expand their businesses. Even artists and craftsmen who dedicate themselves to improving technique and creativity find greater opportunities and recognition. Ability is directly tied to earning potential. Arkad reminded the citizens that investing in oneself requires discipline and effort. Reading, studying, practicing, and seeking guidance all demand time and commitment. But these investments yield returns far greater than any coin put into a risky venture. Your mind and abilities are your most valuable assets, and nurturing them ensures that wealth will follow naturally. He also warned against complacency. Even those who achieve success must continue learning. Markets change, opportunities shift, and skills can become outdated. Continuous improvement is the safeguard against stagnation and the key to sustaining prosperity over a lifetime. The story of Madan serves as a reminder that everyone has the potential to increase their earning capacity. It requires humility to recognize what you do not know, courage to seek guidance, and persistence to apply new knowledge effectively. Those who embrace this principle gradually transform their earning ability into lasting wealth. Ultimately, Arkad's message was clear: wealth is not a static prize but a dynamic outcome of knowledge, skill, and action. By improving your ability to earn, you create a life in which opportunity, security, and prosperity are within reach. Combining this principle with the earlier lessons of saving, controlling expenditures, investing, protecting assets, and planning for the future forms a complete framework for financial success. In the end, the richest man in Babylon became wealthy not by accident but by cultivating discipline, wisdom, and personal growth. And so can anyone who chooses to follow the same path. The timeless wisdom of the richest man in Babylon teaches us that financial success is not a matter of luck or inheritance, but of discipline, foresight, and action. From saving a portion of every coin earned, controlling expenditures, and making money work for you, to protecting wealth, investing in property, planning for the future, and improving your ability to earn, each lesson builds upon the last, creating a solid foundation for lasting prosperity. The stories of Arkad, Bansir, Kabai, Sharunata, Dabasir, and others show us that wealth is cultivated through habits, choices, and knowledge. Small, consistent steps taken wisely can transform ordinary earnings into extraordinary security and opportunity. It is not about quick riches but about steady, deliberate growth and responsibility. At Books Arena, we believe that applying these lessons in daily life can change your financial trajectory. Begin today by saving, spending wisely, investing prudently, and committing to continual learning. Over time, you will not only secure your future but also gain the confidence and freedom that come with true financial mastery. Remember, wealth is built one coin, one decision, and one improvement at a time. Let the wisdom of Babylon guide your steps, and you will create a life of stability, opportunity, and abundance.